Awesome. Welcome to National Prayer Breakfast.
Let's get into physical comedy.
That's always been
someone needs to take the throne that was previously occupied by Crystalia. Before that explosive documentary that brought this horrifying story back into the public sphere, which I know it's good to spread awareness or whatever, but it's like...
wait, there's a documentary about Crystalia?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
And I started watching it, or maybe I watched the trailer. I don't remember anything. But it shocked me, and I was just like, no, I don't need to know the lore. All I know is like...
Well, what is the lore? Like, he's into teenage girls. Like, what isn't that just... That's the lore, right?
Yeah, but it's like... It's more incriminating, and it's like... It's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it's just like... It's obscene. I'm just like, I don't want to fucking know. Yeah, I don't want to watch a Woody Allen thing. Yes, I don't want to watch... R. Kelly thing. I don't... Why are we always like, yeah, give me the grim, dirty details about fucking Epstein's Island.
The Woody Allen one, the Epstein Island one, it's fascinating because there's so much else going on, but the Woody Allen documentary, I had to stop that one because it was so fucking disturbing. And I mean, there's things you can learn with that one, I guess. Like, if you have kids and they're like, I don't want to play with, you know, Uncle Jim anymore, just listen to your kids and don't, like, force them to be babysat by people they don't like. But that documentary was just horrific, and it's like, I don't need to see this. There's no point in it. So, yeah, the Crystalia thing's kind of like that. I'm sure another physical comedian, Dane Cook, is sort of got engaged recently, and he had a post that was like, someone found a post where he's like, finally 18 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like him and his fiance started dating like the day she turned 18, or they met that day or something, you know. It's like one of those.
How convenient. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but only because he's such a genius.
Yeah.
A brilliant genius. Whatever.
Is there any other comedians we want to shit on? I like this.
You
know what?
You want to talk some smack? Let's talk some smack on some dead ones.
It's probably bad for your career to just like have your podcast always start with shitting on comedians, but I kind of hate them. You know who had Andrew Schultz had a really good take where he's like, comedians need to quit accepting this idea that they're like important commentators and figures. Like, I just want to be a clown so I can just joke around and have fun. Like, I don't want to be important. I don't want to have I don't want to be who people go to for their opinion about the world or politics.
Sure. Which
is the right thing to have. And all these comedians, they're like, no, we're like the new philosophers.
Yeah.
It's like, well, actually, first of all, philosophers we're basically all pedophiles. Let's be honest.
Were they, Keith? That's quite a statement.
I mean,
a
lot of them.
Big if true.
I mean, Aristotle, probably Plato.
You're just listing philosophers that you know, and then saying probably.
Well, yeah, but like all the Greeks were fucking kids, so.
Yeah. Is that our new thing, Keith? Are we going to start canceling
Aristotle,
the Greeks? Cancel Marcus Aurelius.
He's Roman, but they were also diddling kids. But yeah, I mean, comedians, like, they're the thing with like all these like famous podcast comedians and just like how many of them have like swung to the right, you know, like a Bill Maher or whatever, simply because they're hyper focused on cancel culture. And it's like, you understand this is like a unique problem for your line of work that like, it's like, you know, on a personal level, it sucks to get canceled, but like, you're not doing anything that important. Like, I hope you know.
Yeah. Everyone else but us. Yeah, I agree.
No, not everyone else.
Well, we're the only important podcast.
Yeah, we're different.
This is important. It needs to happen.
We've already touched on a lot of topics that will be in our TikTok segment, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, when are we gonna do that? We want to hop in?
Should we hop in? I'm gonna switch over to our TikTok segment color.
I really love your attention to detail with things like this. This is it's very refreshing.
So we're going to start off with revisiting one of our TikTok couples we love.
We do love them. They're good.
JC. Ruby.
So they're still trying to have a baby. Not much to say there, unless you have anything.
They are. I mean, I think that the conclusion we came to with the last time we viewed them was that I'm into them. I support them.
What's cool is Karan is, you know, inevitably, if they do have a kid, he's going to be a single father one day.
Yeah.
And the kid's going to, like, you know, like, the kid's going to be like, oh, I want to know about my mom.
Yeah.
Luckily for the kid, they'll have so much content they can go look
Oh, yeah.
learn about Cheryl. Most kids have, like, one old black and white photograph in a locket.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or it'll be the kid will survive long enough it'll be like the movie Big Fish, except for it'll be just like a dying 95-year-old mother of a 3-year-old. Yeah, well, we support them, and we support their child. And we pray that it doesn't turn into some sort of Rosemary's Baby situation. But there's hardly any evidence that would occur.
Yeah. It'll be good. So, speaking of cancel culture, you know...
That's how we start the podcast. Speaking of cancel culture...
You know, I'm a big old Swiftie, and unfortunately, she has recently made a new enemy, and it could be the end for her.
Oh no.
No, I am not a T Swift fan at all. I used to be when I was young, and she pretended to be a nice girl that sang country music. But I think that she really showed her hand in the situation with Kanye when her fans, I don't know if you followed the situation, but she's still clearly, obviously, a mean girl that pretends to be nice.
I feel like she goes, like, to get her opinions, her manufactured opinions, she goes into Cracker Barrel with a tape recorder and just listens to people talk. Because she has, like, the most ridiculous, like, there's no way that she has that perspective.
Well, I just want to say to the Swifties out there, you know, maybe they bought a ticket to her Sold Out Eras tour, and maybe they don't feel comfortable going after seeing this.
Right.
And if they, you know, bought a ticket to the Kansas City show, I'm happy to buy that off of you if you don't feel comfortable going now that we've we've kind of got the verdict from old Candy Cane.
So, Keith, how did you not get a ticket? Did you sleep in like past her secret release time or anything?
Yeah, well, I registered for pre-sale. So,
and which only gets you a chance.
Well, for anyone else, like, you'd be good to go. But yeah, I registered for pre-sale, but I didn't get in line until like an hour after it started. So, did you know there was
the Swifties really live up to their name?
There was a second pre-sale section for people that like got a like Capital One credit card, and all the tickets were sold out in like the pre-sale before that. So there's people. I got a credit card, and didn't get a ticket. But yeah, if you're in the Kansas City area and you can't, your conscience won't let you support an artist now that we know. Do you think she's gonna her career will serve? I mean, how many black Nazis can she piss off? She's not doing well.
Yeah. It's such an absurd opinion. Like, I liked it when she was Miley Cyrus. I
liked Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Miley's a slut.
Yeah. I liked her when she was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Did you know she had a conversation with Cornel West?
Yeah, I've watched that clip. And that clip blew my fucking mind because of how nice fucking Cornell was to
and how
her and that dipshit Gavin McGinnis, the fucking Proud Boys guy.
Yeah.
A real cunt.
Yeah, I mean he's an idiot. Like he shoved a dildo up his ass on like a live stream to own the libs or something. He's just dumb. I have a clip of it. We don't have to watch it, but I was like, Candace was like really not on her best behavior with him.
Yeah,
and I think she like knew she was in over her head, like obviously intellectually, but also like you can't get his goat and like get him riled up and then play the victim. So
I almost think we should watch that on here. Or a little bit of it. Oh, you have?
I mean, they play really horrible stuff, and fortunately for you, because you hail in liberal land, you are a liberal.
Well, I'm not liberal now. I'm a leftist.
You're a leftist.
I'm a leftist.
Sorry.
I'm critical. Yeah.
What's the difference?
The difference is liberalism refuses to engage in a critique of capitalism, refuses to engage in a critique of empire and imperial policies, and it refuses to engage in the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party. Liberals are in the Democratic Party. I have a critique of the milquetoast character of the Democratic Party. Okay. When you talk about the plantation of the Democratic Party, I'm with you wholeheartedly. I've talked about the Obama plantation. We can talk about the Clinton plantation and so forth. Now, I come right back and say, there's a Trump plantation too. All of these politicians, all of these parties have their plantations.
Well, I'm not
a party person in that sense.
You can go anywhere and hear me speak. There is nowhere where I tell people that they should abandon the Democrat Party and go to the Republican Party.
But you got a critique of the Democratic Party and Democratic leadership.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
And Republican leadership as well. I mean, they're...
Yeah, I mean, she's just like, she's used to...
And with any right-wing commentator, they just sort of like run a script for any sort of debate or interaction. And
right. And they're used to talking to other like dipshit pundits who view things as like, just like they don't understand any sort of nuance between I'm with her fucking people.
Well, yeah, of course it's easy to debate a Hillary supporter,
right?
Like, it's like it's like boxing a toddler. Like, there's
Yeah, I mean, the only Hillary supporters that are out there are just people who don't know how to use the internet. That's all it can be. I don't know. But there's I never rule out the possibility of Hillary running again.
Well, yeah, you don't. It's like, yeah, you never rule out that Michael Myers will come back.
No.
Or, Jason will attack again.
Yeah.
So I got something real cringe. We're going to turn up the cringe factor. But this is a popular video. People like this. This video was titled, This is Legendary. Like, someone reposted it. So we'll see what you think.
Okay.
I got about 10 more minutes until 40 milligrams of this Adderall kick in. Let me tell you something. I'm feeling pretty intelligent right now. Ask me anything in the comments. I bet I can answer that whole lickety split here. Milo, get your every eye in the house, boy. Oh my God, there's a dead roach in the pool. Poor chap never learned how to swim, eh? Oh, he's wiggling. He's still alive. What a problem, man. I'm spinning at it like I'm a legend, man. Be for real.
The only way that video could have been justified is if he drowned himself in that pool at the end of it.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one. I have a lot of thoughts. I mean, I'm sure he's a millionaire off this now.
Sure.
You'll probably be opening for him at some show.
Yeah. Yes.
It's so, people love this. People were like, this was fucking awesome. And he did sort of a Johnny Depp sort of impression. And it kind of made me, I'm kind of glad Amber Heard, beat the shit out of him now.
Yeah.
This is his legacy.
Yeah. That was a strange, that was like, I feel like there were two people who were at the forefront of public thought, and it was Vladimir Zelensky, or Zelensky, right? What's his name?
Yeah.
Vladimir. Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp. And it was just like the people rallied behind Johnny Depp, and they thought oh, this is an innocent man who needs justice or whatever. And it was such a fucking depressing public display.
Yeah, and we can talk. We might talk about the Megan Thee Stallion thing, but the one thing that was great about that was it was not aired on television.
Yeah.
Which just, I mean, I don't want to talk about it anymore, but just the idea that we should be airing any court cases as entertainment is fucking retarded as shit. Obviously it's not, it poisons the jury well, it fucks up any sort of, and defenses know this and stuff,
Yes, but it's good content.
It's great content.
But look, I made you some content.
Did we get better outcomes with the OJ trial or Casey Anthony or, any of these,
The outcomes that we got were, advertisers really, those things, they really hop on those things, You want some ad space.
Ooh.
Especially if it was a sex crime, people will tune into that. People want to know. What's next on the docket? The TikTocket.
This is just a woman I like.
Okay.
A pussy does not ever stink.
Oh my God.
Well, now it don't. I mean, really. A pussy does not ever stink.
Oh my God.
Well, now it don't. I mean, really.
I wonder how many years she's waited to tell people.
Yeah. Well, and that. I don't. Is this a recent? This looks like a vintage video.
I mean, it could have.
Which adds to the appeal, honestly. Today's 98-year-olds are not the same as the 98-year-olds in the 90s, right? Because that looks like a home video. Like a...
Yeah, well, it could have just been ripped 1,000 times on the internet, you know. But good for her. I probably, you know, if I had a pussy, I'm sure it would stink sometime, you know, like, I can't. She's doing something.
I like that she's being filmed, obviously. She might not know that she's being filmed, but the family members are clearly like, they know something's going to happen. So they're like, you know that before that video, they were like, well, whatever. Hey, grandma, tell us about your pussy.
Yeah, but also old people love to just say the most outrageous, oftenly like racist things and just be like, what? What did I say? What did I do?
Yeah.
Are you a big Billie Eilish fan?
No keys. I'm an adult man.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that okay, that's a slippery slope. Well, you're an adult man too.
Here's the thing, though: you are younger than her current boyfriend.
That's the hottest thing I've ever heard.
She is dating the guy from. It's a band. It's called like The Neighborhood or something.
Does he look older than me?
Yeah. And they sing that song. It's too cold.
Okay, I don't know it, but I can see
like a song
based on the jingle that you just did. I can see what she sees in it.
It's one of those songs you hear it like I didn't know the band's name, but you hear that song like at CVS or whatever when you're, you know, getting your herpes medication.
Right, whatever you're doing.
All right, so yeah, she's dating an older man, which she's. You know, when you're a 20-something-year-old, you got to get content for your next breakup album.
You must.
So it's sort of business-wise, it's a smart decision, but it will scar her for life eventually, I'm sure. But this is her talking about her new beau.
I pulled his ass.
Oh wow!
I not only was known by a person that I thought was the hottest alive, but pulled his ass. Can we just round of applause for me? Thank you. Jesse Rutherford, everyone. I pulled his ass.
Well,
all me. I did that shit. I locked that motherfucker down.
Ew! Why is every pretty girl with a horrible looking man?
Which is crazy because then I met Jesse like the end of last year, maybe. I love him so much. Oh my God, he's so good, bro. Ugh. I pulled his ass.
I think I've seen enough. So that actually, I've always wondered what word I could use to describe my feelings about Billie Eilish, but the only thing, she is excruciating.
When she kept saying like, I pulled his ass, like, I know that's like a phrase, but it grossed me out. Like, pulled his ass.
Pulled his ass. Yeah, I don't know. I did whatever that was. I found it.
Though I know what I will say. I like her with the dark hair and bangs. I think it's a good look for her.
It's a fine look.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think of her boyfriend?
Well, he had a real Jared Leto Suicide Squad sort of vibe.
It's the exact guy you would expect Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
So.
That dude, I understand. There's a lot of dudes like that I see on Instagram. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe I should get some tattoos, Keith. What do you think? Neck? Start with the neck. Just say fuck it.
It's up to you, dog.
Maybe I'll do it. And then I'll date Billie Eilish.
Yeah. So, do you want some more cringe shit, or should we check in on our favorite lizard hunter?
Let's go to the lizard hunter. I don't want to hang out on TikTok for too long.
Right.
We don't want to warp the brain.
Yeah, we want to protect our viewers. We'll just see what lizard hunter's up to.
Yeah. Lizard Gang.
What up, Lizard Gang? So I just dropped this video on Rumble. Make sure you guys go over there and follow me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys do go over there, make sure you drop a comment and let me know.
Well, just another plug of his other lizard channel. This was interesting. He was in Vegas scoping out the lot lizards, and this happened.
This is the greatest documentarian of our time.
he just posted a video of him at a buffet
getting scrambled eggs, or is that what he's getting?
Yeah, it's like some kind of Vegas breakfast buffet, or
and hash browns, and so it does. To be honest, it does look pretty good, but it's just like fucking why.
Yeah, maybe that could be, aside from his lot lizard content, he could do some. He could review buffet food or something, something like this.
Perhaps. I've seen a lot, Keith. I've seen too much.
I saw that Adderall kid and just got angry again.
Yeah.
And fuck people that take Adderall. He said he was on 40 milligrams of Adderall. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. When I was in college, I think the most that people could get was 30, but like most people would take like 10 and be up all night.
Yeah, it's terrible. I did some time on Adderall.
It's been
not
84 years.
Like sporadically, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
most college kids, you gotta write a paper, and
for some reason it feels like a lot safer than doing coke, and now it probably is.
I think it's probably,
or it probably always has been.
It's probably, I'm sure it's much better than doing coke if you're just doing it like, you got a paper to write every.
Sure.
But to be honest, like if you need to pull an all-nighter to study for a test or write a paper, I found that coffee and like cigarettes are more than enough.
Oh yeah, coffee and cigarettes are. That's part of the reason.
Most novels have been written with that. Like.
Yeah, well, and painting. Oh my god, it's just like you get up, you fucking make a pot of coffee, you smoke a cigarette, smoke another one.
Yeah.
Like, and then you just start painting the day away.
So we made it through the talks.
Yeah, we did it. Keith, I believe that you were going to talk about a certain trial.
Yeah, I thought we could revisit Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and just talk about that for hours. No, I'm kidding. I hope they both die. Well, we're getting to this topic just as its interest is waning, but
we do that.
The Megan Thee Stallion, well, I should say the Tory Lanez trial. She wasn't actually a party; she was just a witness. It was the state of California versus Tory Lanez.
Right.
About 2 years ago, most people are probably aware, during the pandemic, shortly after George Floyd, Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion. And it kind of just recently, has been known about, but favor has swung massively in the Tory Lanez favor in the last year or something like this, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, eventually the jury found him guilty of all counts, and he's going to prison for a long time or whatever. But I don't know. There's just a lot of blatantly misogynist conspiracy theories, and it was just super frustrating
Only a matter of time before the boys show up.
Yeah. So the conspiracy theories, I just want to quickly run down because they had to keep changing as like more evidence became undeniable. So Megan liked the cops initially and said she stepped on glass because she was afraid they would murder Tory Lanez, which, not unlikely. So their first conspiracy theory was she never got shot, and she's just like, she made up that she got shot because she's a slut, right? To punish Tory Lanez. And, obviously, like, the doctors verified that, like, she had a bullet hole and bullet fragments in her foot. So they moved on from that. And then the next conspiracy theory was, like, she got shot, but she's a slut. Because I guess she lied about having a sexual relationship with Tory. She did a Gayle King interview, and Gayle was like, were you intimate or something? And she lied to Gayle King. Which, by the way, if I were Megan Thee Stallion and Gayle King asked me that, I would just be like, did you eat Oprah's pussy, Gayle? What about you, Gayle? Tell us about all the times you ate Oprah's pussy. So anyway, which I know that pisses me off because like she lied about having sex with Tory Lanez. Like, yeah, I would too. What do you like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what, and this is probably why public turned against her, is they identified with the guy that the girl was embarrassed to have slept with. But then the conspiracy theory evolved further because, more evidence was piling up against Mr. Lanez. And Tory Lanez isn't his real name. And this is an insight into, like, what an idiot this guy is. His birth name, his given name, is Daystar. His name is Daystar, and he decided to go by the moniker Tory, a girl's name. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Daystar is the coolest sounding name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and he chose a name that
he's like, no. British
girl.
Yeah, it's like the British.
It's girly and it's British.
It's like the British Republican Party.
Yeah.
So anyway, the conspiracy theory reached its final form in that, like, yes, Megan was shot, but it was actually her friend in the car with Tory that shot her. And she's, I don't know, for some reason is protecting her friend that shot her and pinning it on Tory,
Yeah.
And it was all just like, it's the kind of thing, like, you can't argue with those types of people. Like, they're
not easily.
It's not really a misinformation thing as much as it's just like, you are a raging misogynist and, like, no one will fix you. At one point I started to get into, like, a back and forth with a guy on Twitter and about the trial, and then I sort of snapped to realizing I was debating a guy with the Twitter handle Black MAGA. And I was like, oh wait, this is an insane person.
Yes. Yeah. A real Candace Owens type of
and
madness.
Also interesting to note, Candace Owens came out hard against Tory Lanez, so not happy I had to agree with her. But then again, her take, like, she was like, her take was correct about the shooting or whatever, but then it kind of segued into, like, just a way to shit on black people generally.
She'll do that.
She'll take it, like, she'll be like, even when she's a little bit right, she has to use it for evil. So.
Oh, man. We always have to have a good trial going.
Yeah, luckily this one wasn't televised. I don't know. hopefully, and people were pissed about it too. Like, people were like, "This should be televised so the public can like see justice."
Right.
And it's like, just you want to farm it for content. Like, just stop.
Yeah. Nothing is sacred. That's for damn sure.
Any news stories that have piqued your interest recently?
Not at all. I've been living in a vacuum a little bit, and I've just been painting,
That's good. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we should discuss the Andrew Tate, Greta Thunberg.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to
this.
This
is the next trial of the century.
This one's a little bit more personal to me, so, because I'm a tune head. I'm a tuna fish. The tune fish.
A toonie.
I'm a tune. All right, let's talk about it.
So, you know what? I'm just gonna pull up the info. So, Greta Thunberg got in a little bit of a spat with Andrew Tate.
Oh no.
How would you describe Andrew Tate in a few words to the audience if they're not familiar?
Andrew Tate is disgusting. Like, he's just he's like king of the manosphere, which is just this internet movement that's basically it's just like a misogynistic like worldview for incels, and it kind of promises pussy, but I doubt that it bears any results.
Certainly.
And it's just gross. It's like it's for fans of fucking NFTs, I think, and just bullshit. Late stage capitalist goblins.
He has takes like men should sleep with multiple women if they're in a relationship, but the woman needs to be faithful or something. He wants to. It's just he hates women. I saw like he was on a podcast like debating feminists or something, and. The points he makes, it's this weird like gender war thing that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like he was like, women say that they don't need a man to like buy a house, but guess who built that house? A man did. And it's like, okay, yeah, like what? So it's just like, well, you didn't build it, like. I don't like what we're not a collective like men as a whole, or it makes no. It's what it really is basically like women are from Venus because they don't have a penis. Men are from Mars. They eat candy bars. Women are from Jupiter because they're more stupider. Like that's literally it's just. It's just like
Andrew Tate's he really was he big before this year?
No, I was one
I
of
heard
the
about
early
this year.
Yeah, for me, I just got before he blew up. I tried to do an expose on him, and we missed it.
Really?
Well, he was he was like one of the. Like sort of like a character, like one of our TikTok characters for the Your Mom's House podcast. Like you would watch clips of him and just like mock how stupid he was. And then he blew up when they had him on as a guest. Yeah. And like he was coming on there like ready to like debate them, and they just like played into his character. And Christina, like on that show, was just like, so how can you help me not be such a dumb bitch? And he was like caught off guard. It was pretty good, but
dude, I was at the Rhino last night. Funny quick anecdote.
Yeah.
I was at the Rhino last night, and there was like. So at open mics, they're like kind of brutal typically, and not very many people show up to them audience wise. It's like a lot of comics. This one's okay sometimes, but it was like kind of light, and then all of a sudden this huge group of just like probably 30-something, 20-somethings, 30-somethings, people like walked in. And they were drunk already, but they were just like, I don't know, maybe a little chuggy. One of them, I don't know if she was kidding, but one of them literally before she got in the building looked at me and asked, "Hey, where's the bar manager?" Like before she even entered the building. I don't know if that was a bit. If it was, either way, it made me laugh. And then, like during the show, it was like getting later in the night, and this comic was up, who I know, and I'm not going to say who it was, but they were bombing terribly. And this gay guy just like turns around, and he's just like, "Oh my God, so bad." And I was just like, God, I wish I had. I
Was
should
this
be
a
wearing a
famous
GoPro.
comic or like an open micer?
It was just a local comic.
Yeah.
And we've all been there. I've bombed terribly, and that could easily have happened to me.
Yeah.
I could be being ridiculed out loud by a gay person.
Yeah,
I get ridiculed by a gay person all the time.
People, comedians bomb well throughout their career, like all the time. Like it never stops. Apparently,
It never. It really doesn't.
So
You always think you're immune, and then it'll get you.
yeah. So look forward to that. So the Andrew Tate, Greta Thunberg. So I guess out of the blue, on December 27th, he tweeted, "Hello," I'm going to try and do his voice. "Hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a W16 8.0 liter quad turbo. My two Ferrari 812 competitor zone have 6.5 liter V12s. That is just the start. Please provide me with your email address so I can send you a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions." And then he had like this photo of him with the filling up gas in his sports car. So, and then she responded, "Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com."
Oh my God.
Which people, people loved. He really just teed her up.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah. She is a little savage, you know?
Well, that's the thing about Greta Thunberg is she roasts people for a living.
Yeah.
She's a roast comic. They invite her, like rich billionaires that like pretend they want to save the world will invite her to a conference, and she'll just like rip into them, and then they just clap. She's like,
Yeah.
"You have stolen my childhood."
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Every one of you is a fucking cunt." She's like, "I hope your children die in war and your daughters get raped." And they're just like,
She's great. Yeah.
"I hope you die in famine." So he kind of so she got him, and then he waited 12 hours to respond, and this is his response. And this is going to be the audio, but we can include the video for the YouTube as well.
Okay.
So it's him smoking a cigar in a Versace robe.
Good.
Yeah.
Release some greenhouse gases.
Okay.
I'm obviously a stranger to online controversy. It's not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines which run on dead dinosaurs have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50.
So he's doing, I know you are, but what am I? Like, that's what he's doing.
When I saw this, because his initial tweet, got like 100,000 likes, and then hers got like 3 million, like, it wasn't like...
It is hilarious the amount of time that he waited to do that.
Yeah.
Or if that's what he just, like, it probably took him that long to come up with that.
Well, I would have loved a better, back and forth, but when I saw that, I was just like, oh, Andrew. His take was like, your email is small dick energy? It's like, Andrew, it's like, Andrew, it was a fake email. That's the whole joke.
This is by the same director who, you might know him from Kevin Spacey resurfacing in character as Frank Underwood. It's so fucking weird and diabolical.
Yeah, and odd.
Just like
odd choice to respond to a child. Like she's like 12 or something.
Yeah. He's just like,
in your room.
You have a penis. Like, got her.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like he hits on a girl and she gives a fake number and he's like, her phone number is 1-800 suck, choke on a dick and die. Why is her phone number choke on a dick? Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's a fake number, Andrew. Like, that's not really her email address. That's the whole point.
Yeah, this is like I'm not a gay fish, fucking situation. That's hilarious. What a developmentally disabled child. Like, he's just a halfwit.
What the other funny thing about that? Yeah, the other funny thing is, he's like, I have these 33 sports cars with huge emissions, and it's like, Andrew, like, that's basically nothing. Like, do you know, like, Taylor Swift in her private jet does that in like a month. You know, you'll never do Swiftie numbers in terms of destroying the planet.
You're not a motherfucking monster.
Taylor Swift does, in 1 year of her private jet, does 6,000 lifetimes of an Indian person.
Do you think that...
Get your numbers up, Tate.
Here's the thing. Tate's fans, like, if you're impressed by the things that he says or, like, his whole vibe, like, him doing that, I mean, I'm sure that they liked it. You know, they're like, oh, he fucking got her. Because they have to be that stupid. Because they're dumber than him. Because he's the cult leader of the dum-dums.
Yeah.
And they all follow him. So they have to be dumber, right?
Yes.
I think that's how that works. It is amazing what people... And I'm the same way. Like, I have the blinders on when I'm too excited about... Like, if it's a person that I respect. I'm trying to think of a good example. When I heard David Chase was making a Sopranos movie, I was so excited. And that was basically the last time I ever got excited about anything.
Hype is a bad
but
thing.
I'm just it's just like, oh, I'm being manipulated by just nostalgic marketing and shit like that, and it's just like, who the fuck am I? And it was a dog shit movie, but when I first watched it, I wanted to like it so bad that I was just like, I was in denial about it.
Yeah, those like reboot spin-off type of things are often horrible.
There's
like,
they're going to be good.
They're like, we're rebooting Friends or whatever. Like, one of the few that I think was decent was the Breaking Bad film.
That was a decent movie, but it still had some fucking problems. Like, Jesse Plemons was like super fat and just did not look like the same individual. But that actor's fucking good as shit, though.
But one reason, I think he's married to Kirsten Dunst. Dunst?
Yeah.
Dunst. How do you say it?
Dunst.
Dunst.
Yeah.
who I like as well, actually. But
she's good.
That movie, what was it called? El Camino.
Yeah.
I think why it worked is they weren't really trying to recapture Breaking Bad.
Right.
Same with Better Call Saul. They let it be its own type of story.
Yeah.
They didn't try and reboot.
Yeah, reboots aren't good. I just don't like seeing the actors after they're like fucking old as shit, like still trying to play the same character. Like Arrested Development. Like,
however,
there's so many people who swear by, they're like, no, the fucking 4th season or whatever, it's actually good, or after they remixed it, it was good or whatever. And I'm just like, what are we doing?
I didn't mind the 4th season, but it wasn't as good for sure.
No, of course not.
Though you did like The Irishman.
Here's the thing. When I watched The Irishman, I was less disillusioned than I am now.
Yeah.
Now I am more disillusioned and cynical than ever. We're at a critical level of that.
Yeah. Mine kind of...
I don't even give a fuck about politics right now. And that's usually where I assign my identity or whatever. Like, I just... Or when I'm on my phone, I'm a junkie and I'm like... I'm looking at meme accounts and shit.
Well, the lame duck period for presidents now is like 2.5 years, and it's never good before that either. So, it's I think a huge disillusionment thing for people, and I reached it with this a long time ago, but Star Wars, like,
horrible.
That IP has just been driven into the dirt. I don't follow the shows. Maybe they're good, but
people love them. Star Wars people love them, which
I think they're kind of hit and miss though. I think the fandom is sort of like. Do you think the next Star Wars film that comes out is gonna be doing 2 billion or anything like the last, the beginning of the last trilogy did? Like, I feel like Star Wars is like sort of died. When I watched the first reboot, like the first Disney one, it looked nice and the sets were cool, but like, it's like really another Death Star and like more Skywalker.
It was just like, it was completely just to aesthetically make you think you were in the same whatever, and it was all nostalgia, and it was just like, why that one had Princess Leia in it or whatever. I guess it felt like a cheesy, like, fucking.
It was like movie. The Friends reboot.
Yeah, it was like that.
People got, like, a lot of people started disliking Star Wars with the Last Jedi. Like, that was the one where, like, Leia dies and whatnot. That was the last one I saw, but that was, people, like, got pissed at the studio and the directors, but that was where I started thinking, like, you know what, this is just, like, a very limited world that isn't equipped to tell, like, the intelligent stories that people want.
Well, no, but like, Rogue One was good.
Yeah, that came out before the last.
That's my favorite Star Wars movie, probably.
Yes, but that's the thing, is, like, it could be good if they abandon this need for nostalgia baiting and retelling the same story of the Death Star and retelling, like, everyone has to be related to the Skywalkers.
Well, it was more zoomed in than, it was a zoomed in point of view.
Yes.
Which was super interesting, and that's kind of the only way. I don't know. I mean, no one was
a Jedi. No one was related to the Skywalkers.
Yeah,
like they could revive this series by going, in a wildly different direction. But even like, it also needs like bold. It needs like a bold filmmaker that has a point to say, because like now you have films like like Dune being made and Avatar, like they have like environmentalism and critiques of capitalism and things like this, and Star Wars, like, it can't really do that because it is the embodiment of those awful things. And
Sure.
And to them, like to be a bad guy, you just have a black and red outfit.
Yeah, it's about the evil empire, and it's produced by the evil empire.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. Thank God, thank God the Hobbit movies were so disappointing, because then it's not like, you don't have to watch them every year, I watch Lord of the Rings every year for sure.
Yeah.
At least once. But fuck the Hobbit. And it's almost, because the first one is like, the first Hobbit, it's like, okay, and it has some moments that are like very good. It almost hurts more. It's just like, oh, this is such a fucking tease, because it's not a full story.
Yes.
It's a bunch of stuff fucking.
The third film in that series is, I don't know, like, gun to my head. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to watch that one so badly.
Yeah.
That's sort of, I think maybe this sort of, like, neat, like, franchise, like, sequel thing is sort of fizzling out a bit, or it's
hopefully.
I think it's going to go in a better direction. Like, Dune is a good example of, like, they got a great amazing director that's really passionate about it, and hopefully they don't try
Dune
to drag
has a better fandom too, because it's not too big. Like, it's huge. But it's like, the people who are Dune fans are fucking Dune fans.
Well, yeah, and it's too, it's not meant for, like, general public either, like the source material.
It's too fucking based.
But, like, I think Marvel is sort of fizzling out as well, or maybe it's not, but.
I hope so. I would really love for that franchise to die off.
Like, what are the big Marvel? What's, like, the last huge Marvel film since? Because the series sort of wrapped.
Well, Endgame was
right.
Was like the end of like phase that. 1 or whatever, and Marvel people know all these fucking like terms. But they have all these like secondary things going on. And then, of course, since they're on Disney Plus, they have all these like series. They're just like expanding it. I don't know. I can't. I'm way too cynical to be a Marvel guy. But
there's like particular films throughout it that are good, but like, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Iron Man,
dude.
Thor Ragnarok, but it's one of those things like I don't want to watch. Like, I guess I haven't seen Endgame or Infinity War. I've heard they're good.
They're fun.
They're good. Like, yeah, it's like a fun action ending to the series, but I don't want to go watch all the films.
There's too many of them, and they don't all pay
I don't want to go watch Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Dude, I do not care for Paul Rudd. And I know that, like, he has a lot of fans or whatever, and people fucking dig Paul Rudd, but I just, like, I'm like, I don't know. I in general, I don't like, there's so many guys from Kansas City that, like, well, not, I don't want to get into that, but Paul Rudd is just like, he's so soft, and I know that I'm not a Viking or whatever, but he's just so tender and like it's too much.
Well, a lot of what Paul Rudd's appeal is, he's very much he's sort of like the boy next door, sort of like, he is very attractive and he seems like a genuinely nice person, so like of course women love him.
Yeah, but
he is a person that's also he's sort of too good or like too perfect. Not that I'm saying there's dark secrets, but he's not super.
I don't like
interesting.
improv guys. Like, I mean, there's and that's what he is. I think he's an improv guy, and sketch comedy guy or whatever. I think he like did his time in Chicago or whatever. And there's some of those guys are great, but
I like some of the improv. Like I fucking love Reno 911.
Yeah. That shit's amazing. I'm not saying the concept of improv I don't like.
I think he was on that show, was he not?
Probably.
Maybe
everyone
as a
was.
side character.
That's Reno is the funniest show ever.
You know, as a comic, like you're probably not a fan of him as a comic, but Nick Swarsden on Reno 911 is such a fucking hilarious character.
Oh, he's great.
Like that.
Yeah, that's his best role for sure.
They're like, we got to call about lewd behavior. And it's like, lewd or lewd? I mean, I guess like it's sort of like now, like people get mad when a straight character plays like a gay character, especially like a stereotype. He was so fucking good at that. Like
he was, and
when you were in Miami, you were an ambassador for Reno.
Yeah,
heavy on the asador.
Yeah, I fucking love that show. They're all great. What's her name? Niecy Nash.
Yeah,
she's great.
Yeah, just all of them. Weigel.
She's fucking hilarious. And Kyle Dunnigan, who plays the serial killer. I've been a Kyle Dunnigan fan. I was late to the game with Reno. I didn't watch it when I was a kid, and then I watched it later in life. But when I was a teenager, I was aware of Kyle Dunnigan's YouTube. I didn't know his name was Kyle Dunnigan, but he took that Craig character and made it into its own thing. Although, he might have. Maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse. He might have came up with Craig for that show. I don't know how that.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's brilliant. He has this way of morphing his face into a different person, and that speech impediment's great.
Kyle Dunnigan is fucking amazing, and I feel like he's probably not a super well-known name.
So he is. Comics know who he is for sure, and I know he's I think he's a fixture at the Comedy Store and stuff. Yeah. But he does. I don't know. I feel like he's grown, his fan base has grown a lot in the past couple of years. He's been doing those funny face swap things, and he does it in a very clever way.
I think he's also he's a writer for other comics and stuff a lot as well.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He's funny as shit.
Dude, there's a scene from Reno, and that Reno, I think they might be rebooting Reno too or something, but
they did something like that already.
That's
and there was do you remember when that failed streaming service that was it was for 10-minute shit and less or something? Yeah. I think it fucking tanked because I remember seeing the ads for it and stuff, and then it just nothing. Fucking
that is one of those shows that was very politically incorrect, even at the time. That
politically incorrect, but not in.
Well, they were doing commentary on.
Yeah, it was satire. But it was not what boomers think political incorrectness is, and that is making black people seem untrustworthy or something.
No, I do. Well, the characters were Barney Fife or whatever. Am I thinking the right?
Oh, and on Reno. Not Barney. No, that's Andy Griffith's show. Reno Dangle, Sheriff Dangle.
But they were playing bad people.
Yes,
but I don't know.
Yeah, they're morally reprehensible, and they're representing cops. in like a goofy like light, like they're fucking losers. Like all of those characters are just hopeless in their personal lives.
It's probably one of the more accurate depictions of what cops are like. There's a scene in that's so fucking hilarious, where they're discussing like HR, like what you can and can't say in the workplace, and Weigel's like, would it be inappropriate to say which N-word took the last jelly donut? Like, but she says like the full word.
Yeah.
It's so.
But they also bleeped it, right?
Yeah,
like they did that a lot, where they would say a slur and fucking bleep it. Which I'm a fan of a good bleep. Like especially in that era. I think it can be very funny.
Righto. Do you have anything to plug, Aaron?
Yes, I do. I was gonna go through my calendar and mention some upcoming dates. I've been meeting people who listen to the show, which is fun. Let's pull out the calendar and see where I'm gonna be.
Well, we do want to give some updates on the Patreon.
We ran into.
Well, I think we're just like, we want the content to be best. So I wanted Story 2 to come out on Christmas. It's getting delayed a little bit longer, but it's also going to be about 4 times the length of the first story. And
fucking good. And you're doing it as a podcast too. Like yeah.
So, and then you have Wizard Fight.
Wizard Fight coming out soon. I went through a breakup. I moved into a new place. I have a bed now, and that's helping things. I'm working on my time management skills.
But you're also, Wizard Fight, you're putting in with each chapter, you're kind of getting more and more
detail,
better artwork.
And here's the thing with Randy. I don't want you to look at the Patreon and think that it's completely like that's the whole thing. Like when it comes to print time, I've been just kind of doing this as a way to push myself to actually write it. But I'm gonna make it look more graphic novel-y. I still want to keep like the meme-y, the meme-ish aesthetic to it, and I want it to be quick and whatever. And I'm gonna do it as I'm gonna print it as a little comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be important to kind of keep things simple anyway. But it's meant to make you laugh, and it's meant to be irreverent. It's sacrilegious intentionally. Okay, so that's coming out soon. I don't know when this comes out, but hopefully we get it up by Saturday, which is New Year's Eve. If you're doing anything, if you're not doing anything on New Year's Eve, I will be at the Comedy Club of Kansas City several times, actually. At 7:00, I'm doing a spot on the show downstairs with J. Chris Newberg. Very funny gentleman there. And they're going to have a jazz band going as well. So that'll be fun. And then upstairs, there's a show that starts at 8:00. I'm doing that showcase as well. I don't know how much time I'm doing up there, but I would imagine it'll be 15, 20 minutes. And I'm working on crowd work and new shit right now. So it's a good time to come see me. And then at 10:30 on Saturday, I will be at the the Kansas City Improv Company in Westport. It's called the Kick Comedy Theater. There's a 10:30 variety show. So if you want to ring in the new year there, that'll be good. Let's see. All right, January 14th. I will be at Hazel's in St. Joseph. I'll get you more details whenever. Check my Instagram at Bad Aaron Scarborough. On the 20th, I'm going to do a set at the Blue Note in Columbia, Missouri. That's the 20th of January. More details in the link tree on my bio. On the 21st, I'll be in Atchison, Kansas. The 22nd, I'm going to be back at Columbia. I think this one's at the Eastside Tavern, Columbia, Missouri. That show is always wonderful, and I like the audiences that show up there. I do it about once a quarter, so that'll be good. Then I'm in on the 28th. I'm in Lee Summit, Missouri, at Smoke Barbecue. I think it's called Smoke. We'll figure it out. Okay. February. I'm going to go ahead and throw these out here. So here's where it gets fun. In Wichita, I will be there on Groundhog Day at Vorshay's Cocktail Lounge. That's an amazing venue. My buddy Steve Peters runs that, and it's a beautiful space. And he owns the spot too. So it's fun. And I know I have Wichita people, so I'll hope to see you there. And then I'm going to do some Denver dates. I'm working on getting a full schedule, but the only thing I have so far in the bag is Locust Cider on Friday, the 3rd of February. But I intend on being there all weekend. So, and I'm reaching out to people right now. We're going to hop on some shows. Manhattan, Kansas on February 10th. And then I'm going to be at Border Brewing back here in Kansas City on February 11th. We're going to do... I'm going to be headlining the Rhino in North Kansas City on the 24th. Check that out. Might have a very cool co-headliner as well, but it's not confirmed. And then I'm going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska on the 25th at the Grotto. And that's the 25th of February. That's all I'm going to tell you about right now. But yeah.
There is a shitload there. So.
Yeah, a lot of dates.
Pick one of them.
Pick one.
Or multiple.
And there's about to be more. I'm really trying to do as much comedy as possible so as not to make any personal growth. I need to avoid that.
Yes. I think this is our first pod since there's an audiobook version of my first story up now on the Patreon, and the audio version of your first chapter, no?
On Randy?
Yeah.
No, there's no audio yet. I do have, wait, did I put a slideshow on there?
You did a slideshow of the first chapter, I think.
Yeah. I don't know that I don't think that's on the Patreon right now. There was this couple of things. I put it on my Instagram story, but that shit's coming soon. And because we have Justin's going to make animations. And I'm thinking about making kind of a novelization version of it too. So you can just listen to Randy's tales.
Awesome.
So a lot of things on the pipeline, but I'm a busy man. But by the way, to close this out, what do you think of this coat?
Well, I love Carhartt, so
I have never been able to afford a Carhartt. Really, I assume they're expensive.
They're great. They're great at they cut the wind.
Yeah,
which is more important than people realize with staying warm.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's like a good. It's heavy. It's you can tell it's made of real shit. And I've had good decent coats before, but the one I had was pretty shitty. But I got this from
when it was recently -4 or whatever, and windy as shit. That type of cold, you're kind of fucked anyway. But people often in the cold make the mistake of layering, just hoodie, 2 hoodies and a coat. But what you can do is just wear a coat and put a rain jacket underneath the coat or over it.
Yeah.
If you can cut the wind out, you don't really need that many layers.
You have a plan for everything.
Well, I'm an outdoorsman.
True. He's outdoorsy. I'm a house cat.
You have to learn how to survive in the wild.
I'm a survivor. He's a survivor.
Well, I think that about does it.
Yeah.
stay warm out there as prayer warriors.
Yeah, stay warm. Pray for warmth.
We're heading into the 2 worst months of the year.
2 worst months.
So we're going to get you a bunch of content to get you through it.
Tons of content.
To get you through this hellish time.
We're gonna do it. All right.
Peace.
Bye-bye.